Hello Tubes, it's Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. Today we're looking at this uh, Mark IV Jagd Panzer. It's the L40 variant. It's a Battlefront plastic uh, kit, for want of a better word. I've tried to do it so it's in my mind it's on the Oder front, in the dying days of the war, and it's just coming out of its winter camouflage. So I've tried to do, literally, there's hardly any whitewash left on it. The Germans did use a paint that was specifically for the winter, and it could be removed, or it would biodegrade, for want of a better word, uh, quicker than obviously just putting normal paint on. Um, lovely little kit. I decided to keep all of the shirts and the side skirts on. What I've done with her is I stippled some hot glue on just to do some texture on. I don't really think that really shows up. It's shiny a bit at the moment because it's hasn't had a matte coat, and I'll be using the Galleria that I use on my figures, which is matte, but if I put my VMS matte varnish on, clear coat, whatever you want to call it, it will go really matte, and it'll just literally, the problem is it just sucks the life out of anything you've painted on. I've done everything in acrylics. I did a base coat with the airbrush, but I suddenly realised my airbrush needle's 3mm, and it's obviously not going to be doing patterns at 15mm scale. So I had to hand brush on the rest of the camouflage, but the base coat and I put down with the airbrush just to get a fairly smooth coat. I've gone over 2 or 3 times just to fade out some of the camouflage pattern. The camouflage pattern, it's rough. It's rough. It's one of the like the artist drawings they do for you to do it as a camouflage guide. I roughly followed that, and the colours that I've used, but I always knew I was going to be whitewashing it, but obviously really, uh, you know, hardly anything there, but it would affect all the colours I put on. So I wasn't going to have a cow over if something was particularly, slightly the wrong brown or shade of green. The decals are Battlefront. Mamara Beetle sent me the box. It's like it's a Clash of Steel, um, and that did have the Balkan Cruise on, but it didn't have any numbers. But luckily, because I do a few of these, I'd already sent off for numbers a while ago, so I could just put some numbers on. Anything else that I need to say? Particularly, I've done no real scratch building apart from I tried to do a little viewing block and a hinge for the hatch because it is just a plain hatch. Drilled out the barrel. I did put 2 small caliber hits on the tank itself. Which is one by the mantlet on the left there above I said to you before, this I don't know what to call it really, but this cone shape is actually it'll swing open, and they can put a free mounted MG42 through it to give some type of defence. But yeah, I did 2 hits, and I put the one smack bang in the centre where the muzzle carrier, the gun barrel carrier, when it's in movement, they have to clamp it because of the length of the gun, and it's smack in the middle. One, you can hardly see it. So I've literally just put it in as a bare metal colour. I've done this one up a bit better, but yeah. So it's taken 2 small caliber hits, which haven't had too much of a problem. I've just black lined things in partially black lined things to make things stand out more. I did flame cuts on the armour parts. You can see that more. I don't want to put my fingers over it too much, but I've done some flame cuts. I've shadowed out with, when I say black line, I use tire rubber black, so it's got a lot of brown in it. And this is the armoured periscope that can slide along the top there. So just define the hatches, I did drill out the exhaust. I wanted to put. I still haven't finished this too. As I say, it needs a matte coat. But then what I want to do is I will wet up using either using. I'll probably won't actually use varnish to, like give it a shiny effect along some of the muddy wheels. I'll use some contrast paints because that's got like an ink in and it gives it a shininess anyway. So I'll do that just to give them a bit of shiny muck look. I didn't want to. I used paint for mud rather than trying to use any textures or anything like that, purely because I just thought at this scale it would probably overdo it. These Jagd Panzers had steel wheels as well, partially. The two at the front there. You can see one at the top. So I've gone over with everything with a give some metallic look to it. I've gone over with a pencil on the hard edges of places. I did on this side. I just did some scrapes. Say it's scraped along the side of something. The commander is fairly basic. I wasn't sure if they were supposed to wear that greeny grey uniform or the black. And when I read it, a couple of places said online, and this is online, that it depended what the unit was. So in this case, as it was attached to Panzers, they would be because these were used by our anti-tank gunners. They were in the Panzer uniform, so I put them in Panzer uniform. I really don't know if that's right or not. That's only what I've read. If I was going to do another one of these, and I have got two others I can work on when I want to, I will ding up the side skirts, remove some of them, maybe pull off a mudguard or something. But I just wanted to do this straight out the box, really, with just a minimal look. Now it's going to go on a base with a house backdrop, and I've got this Su-76M assault gun. I'm going to show it either knocked out or abandoned, and this is driving past it. Because there was a fair bit of to-in and fro-in over fighting over the different villages and towns, and with different localized German counterattacks. So yeah, I thought I'd put this somewhere on the Dio, just knocked out. It's a nice little kit again, actually. It's very well detailed. I say, just if you just fancy doing, I know this is a bit of a to the larger scale modelers out there. And I've got a Semavente 1 in 35 scale I'm working on at the moment. And a 1 in 24 car as well. But these little 15 mils, of course, are going to be slightly more chunky in detail because of they are wargaming pieces. But they do make really nice little projects. They're not a lot to them. Things like the barrel there, you've still got to drill it out, but there's not a lot to it. Might well open up there. I can't see if it's here somewhere. There's a little back door there, which I've seen they quite often had them open when they were in firing positions. So I might have that open. Well, I don't know what to do with it yet. I've even thought of trying to remove at least the bottom part of a track and have it laying down. I don't know how. I've been trying to look for knocked out tanks in general, and knocked out these ones knocked out. And just to see if it's feasible to say it's either gone over a mine or maybe a Panzer knacker or something's hit the track, disabled it but not disabled the crew, and they've bailed. I don't know. That's my thought anyway. So yeah, let's just go back to this to finish it off. So yeah, it'll be on a blue foam base, and a bit like the Stummel that I did. I'll do a backdrop to it because I like those little house backdrops. I'm not very good at it. I did try and do some at the back, so at the backs of the skirts. I just painted them in the primer. Sorry, I struggle, so I'm just trying to get words out sometimes. But yeah, really lovely little thing. I'm glad I did do the whitewash. I mean, if you didn't know, you just probably think, well, Gav, you've had a pretty bad job at trying to fade that that Jag Panzer out. But I have tried to, as I say, just show it's come out of winter. It survived the winter, and it's you know, it's gone back to, it's just showing its camouflage underneath. Anyway, you look after yourselves. Oh, and I did think of trying to get some infantry that I could pose, or at least one, you know, giving the commander directions where to find an enemy tank. But I couldn't get anything. I wasn't going to pay in loads of money. I mean, Beetle sent me this ages ago. He also sent me the paint, the attacker paint. I've used some of it, and some of it I've also used some AKs and stuff as well. But for the vehicle, he sent me the late war paint as well. So thanks, Mara. That's come in handy. I found it quite satiny, or at least the browns and the greens were, and I don't know if that's just because I haven't shaken them up well enough. Probably is because the base coat of the late war Dunkelgelb, is it Nachtgelb? I'm not sure, but anyway, but the late war one, which is a lot, you know, a lot paler and darker, not so yellow as the earlier one. That wasn't too shiny, but the other two were, and I think it's probably just because I haven't shaken it up maybe enough. But yeah, lovely little kit. Thanks again, Mara, for sending me those. I know it was a while ago, but we've got another one done. I'm going to go back to the comic that I've got, that I started, you know, that I did all the camo on and everything. I went right off the boil with them, and when I had a few troubles with YouTube, so I'm going to attempt to put you know, get that back together again, and get that painted and do a base at some point for that as well. Anyway, look after yourselves. Coming up on the video front, I have no idea really. I've got some more naps in 28mm to show you, both on foot and horse. I've got the Semovente, which I thought was ready for primer, but I realised I needed to stick a few more bits on, but we're nearly there with that. So Semovente won't be far away. And have a look at that in primer before I start painting it. And then, of course, we'll have a follow-on with this little guy as well as it progresses. So look after yourselves and enjoy your weekend, and we'll catch each other soon on another video.